Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. We're just going to give a few minutes for people to stop on by on a Friday night. I hope you guys have had a great week and a fabulous upcoming weekend. I see Lee's on board here, and we'll just give a couple more minutes while people hop on and tell us where they're watching from. We always like to know where people are watching from. Let's see, what have I been up to this week? So let's see, I got a Stampin storage order. Their magnet sheets were on sale. So I love their magnet sheets. I have them and they come in two different sizes. Now I know you can get yours from like the Home Depots and Walmart, but these are really nice because these are the old style. So, well, I don't know old style, but I do use two different sizes. So these are the ones I just got. They're a little bit larger. I don't remember what size they were, but they are 6 by, looks like 6 and 3/4. So 6 by 6 and 3/4, almost like a 6 by 6 DSP. So these go a little bit nicer in the wider die cut cases, but I do love using them because they're really strong and I don't lose my dies. Well, most of the time I don't lose them. I'm still looking for 2 dies in my craft room. One is from Stitch So Sweetly, and then another one is from the Tasteful Textures or Tasteful Labels dies. I lost one of those, so that's kind of upsetting because those are the 2 I use a lot. But anyway, that's new. And also Stampin' Storage had their little bins. I don't have any of these, but they're the little pop-up ones for your trash and your scraps and stuff like that. And I have this handy. Stampin' Up! Used to have them, but I checked and they didn't have any in the supply area for demonstrators, so I went and bought one of those. It wasn't that expensive, but I'm gonna give it a try, and if I like them, well, then I'll probably just continue to order them when they're on sale, or offer free shipping or something like that, because I use, for my in-person classes, I literally use wicker baskets, plant baskets. They're really small. Actually, I have some in my craft room. So this is what I use for little garbage. They're really small and they work really nicely, but I don't know, a little tacky, but I don't know. They do the job, and they were free, right? So why not work with something free? I've used them all the time ever since I started stamping back in 2012. So anyway, let's see who else is here. We've got Karen, Messenger, Carol, Pam, awesome. So now that I see Pam Delano's on here, so I'm going to showcase Pam's card that she sent me with a nice little note. So Pam, you are on. Your card is on live YouTube, but I love, Pam does lots of nice work with sunsets and sponging and what have you, especially stamping. So, and she got this, she sent me this really nice long note. And look at on the inside too. Hope your day is perfect. Really nice. So thank you so much, Pam, for sending me this nice little card. And she also sends all of my, she's in our card club, so she sends me back all of the clear plastic bags, which I reuse. That helps me out a little bit too. And she sends them back when she gets enough on hand. So thanks so much, Pam, for sharing your creativity with me. Okay, so what's also new is I just marketed August Card Club. So August is done, and actually only took me a day to create, I think, because I was so comfortable with the colors. Now, if you don't know me, then let me explain. I love nature and all the colors that come with that. So all the colors in that beautiful Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, that is me. You can always find me hiking. Like I hiked twice this week after work, Tuesday and Thursday. Just short little hikes. Like last night was a 4 mile hike, and then the other one was like little over 3. But it just gets me out of the office and get some clear, like fresh air. But the air quality on the East Coast, so I know some of you are on the West Coast, the air quality here in Vermont has not been great from the wildfires that are way out west. So we are getting the smoke here on our side too. And this morning, I swear, there was a house on fire above us because I heard a bunch of trucks going up, but it wasn't, thankfully. But I think it was the smell of the wildfires. So anyway, but going back to Card Club, so Card Club is a monthly subscription. I have 22 people that participate every single month. I'm so appreciative of my Card Club members. They are a small part of how I was able to earn the incentive trip to the Western Caribbean in May of 2022. So very, very appreciative of my Card Club members. So $38. And then this month I am featuring, let's see, the consumables here. We're going to be working with Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. And you get 6x12, a full pack of that. I cut it in half from a 12x12. It gets cut down to 6x12. It's just because of shipping, and I can keep the cost of Card Club down by doing that. And also gives you just enough paper where you can give it a try. And if you don't care for it, well, then you're not investing in a 12x12 sheet. Also, I'm incorporating the Simply Elegant trim. So this comes in gold and silver. And what's great about this is that you won't use a ton of this. You'll use some of it, okay? But you're going to have a ton left over, so you can use this on your Christmas cards, okay? So this it doesn't necessarily need to be for Christmas. I'll show you how here's some scraps that I kind of put in the bag there. That just came out, but I'll show you how I use this twine, or not twine, it's the trim. So really, really pretty trim. And then we're going to be using elegant faceted gems. So lots of words with elegant in them. So these come in 3 different colors, and there's 15 of each size in the colors. A great little sparkly embellishment that works nicely with this designer series paper. And I'm also using the, let's see, Beauty of Friendship bundle. So that is on page 11 of the annual catalog. You can see it here. I will not be stamping any of these trees because what I like about Card Club is I really look for sentiments that I really enjoy using and like. And I try to make Card Club easy enough so you don't need to have this. But if you do, that's great. You can just order it from me through just emailing me, or you can just go to my website to do that. But the Beauty of Friendship bundle is $52, and it's a photopolymer stamp set. And you can see here are the dies. Okay, so then let's see, what else do I got? I got that and that. So for Card Club, you guys know I cut a ton. I die cut a lot. I don't want to say just me. My husband does too. So these are all the dies that are going to be incorporated into August Card Club. We've got beautiful trees and the cute little birds here. We're going to be making one of the cards from August. We also have the Hippo and Friends dies. So these 4 here, there's 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4. And this one also comes from the beautiful trees. This is the hippo here, and then this here is from Sunflowers dies. Okay, so I wanted to get some kind of like earthy type of like wheat or what have you. I don't know really what that is, but I thought it looked really nice on one of the cards. So that's what I'm going to be using for die cuts for Card Club. Just bear with me. I got to turn the fan on to a different speed because it's really hot here today. And my fan just is not on enough. And I use a large light above me, and it just throws a ton of heat. Okay, so let me show you Card Club. So I did just market this, and it's on my website as well. So this is the one we're going to be making tonight, and I used cinnamon cider, early espresso, and here's the designer series paper, and here's some of those die cuts, and there's that little cute little bird there. Hopefully you can see that, in cinnamon and cider, and then here's the embellishments here. And then on the inside, I made it like this. So I've got the die cut cuts out two birds at the same time. So I thought that would be kind of nice to add one in the middle on the inside. And then here is the silver trim here with the hippo dies. And we've got the wood grain designer series paper underneath that from the 6x12 pack. So you'll make two of these. And then the next one here is that book binding fold, which I absolutely love. And this card base is in Mary Merlot. And I teamed it up with Old Olive, which is in the paper here. Here's some Mary Merlot birds. We've got two because friendships, you need to have more than one. Like you need to have you and a friend there to have a friendship, right? So I've got the gold trim here. And then we open it up on the inside here. You got basic white and a strip of that beautiful designer series paper that looks awesome with the Mary Merlot, don't you think? All right, so that is that one. Then we go with blue themed, okay? So this one has Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy in it. And what I was trying to go for here was try to mimic the designer series paper, because you can see it's kind of like layered. They stamped it, and then they like stamped it in first generation and then moved the stamp a little bit and stamped it in second. So what I tried to do here was I've got the Misty Moonlight tree underneath here. That'll be die cut for you. I layered that, I put that one on the designer series paper, and then I cut another one in Night of Navy, and I layered that on top of this one, but offsetting it. So you can see the two tree trunks there. I added Thinking of You in Night of Navy ink. And then here's the beautiful silver trim here. And this is a strip of the designer series paper from another one of the designs in the pack. And then we open it up. Look at that. Like, you got the designer series paper on the inside. So did you see that? So we've got, this is the designer series paper here, and then we open it up, and that's like a bam, right? All right, let me know if you like that one. That one is really fun. All of these I really, really like, okay? That's that one. And this also could be a Christmas card, because it's got that theme. You could put Merry Christmas, or, you know, thinking, or not thinking of you, but, you know, season's greetings or something like that. So this paper also could be Christmas. And then here's another one that I used an embossing folder called Bark, and that's right here in Cajun Craze. So we've got Cajun Craze card base with some early espresso. Those are really nice fall colors. And then here I double wrapped the gold trim here and added one of the Hippo and Friends dies, and You Truly Inspire Me, with those little faceted gems there. And then on the inside, we've just got a strip of that designer series paper we used on the front. So that is my August card club. So if you would like to join in August, or start your subscription in August, you'll get these kits towards the end of August. So what I do is I order all the supplies on August 20th at 8:00 p.m. That's when it cuts off for the month. I order them and I ship them 2-day express from Stampin' Up, and then I start cutting everything, and hopefully it goes smooth. Last month's people just got maybe a week ago or so, just because I was a little bit behind with my retreat. I had a really successful retreat 2 weeks ago. It was so much fun that everybody wants me to do another one in October. So I'm trying to find a location locally that is bigger than the room we used, because I could really only fit 13 people in there, and I really want to expand it to at least 25 in person. And also I'll offer a retreat in the retreat to go option as well, because I did have 6 customers do the retreat to go. So everybody was very pleased with my retreat. It was the first one of any of like this kind. So I had a lot of fun, and it was great to stamp in person with people. So that is August Card Club. So we're going to be making this one. So I'm going to set that one aside. These I'll be going over here. And it doesn't look like I have any questions. So we're going to get started making these two cards tonight. These were make and takes for my team, and we also used the same cards. I did two other ones, but we're only going to do two tonight at my in-person class with Hartford Parks and Recreation. Now, they wanted Christmas cards in July, so Christmas in July. So that's what we did. I honored their request, so we'll be making those two. Let's see, we're going to be using this Chevron weave ribbon. It comes in evening evergreen. It's pretty nice. It is very thick, so when you mail the cards, well, you're going to definitely pay extra for postage. So what I would do with these is I would, probably hand deliver something like this. Now this one here you can get away with because it's all flat. So this one would definitely go at no extra postage. And I did hear postage is going up in price August 22nd. So that came from a postmaster locally. So make sure you go out and, you can actually, me locally, they have Christmas card stamps right now. Like, I would go get those. I don't know what the new rate is going to be. So if you know it, why don't you post it in the comments so people know what the new price is going to be. So Evening Evergreen, only one ink color for tonight. The Evergreen Elegance stamp set is what I'm going to be focusing on tonight. We'll be using several different stamps from this collection here. And let's see what else we've got. We'll be using on one of the cards the designer series paper, which is called Tidings of Christmas. It's a 6x6 paper pack. It's found on page 133 of the annual catalog. And it's a 6x6 paper pack, like I said. So it's $11.50. It was recently on sale. So if you did snag some of this at the sale price, good for you. It was 15% off. Now, I know maybe you guys were expecting me to make something from Celebration or the new mini catalog. Well, honestly, I didn't have time. I am a little bit behind just because of retreat and I needed a break. So, and it's okay to take a break because if you don't take a break, you're going to get worn out. So, I'm just going with the flow and we're just take day by day and make cards. So this is the one we're going to make together right now, and it uses that really fun punch. And I have it, but I don't have it on my desk. Right here. It is called the Evergreen Border Punch. So the really fun thing about this, you can have your paper as long as you want it to be, like 12 inches, and make a really long strip of trees. And that would be awesome for scrapbooking. So 12 inches of this is awesome, right? For the card today, we are going to be using it on the front, and I actually added it on the inside as well. So, but I'm not going to punch it out because I've already got strips already punched out, and it'll save a bunch of noise and all that good stuff. So let's take out our kit here. We're using crumb cake cardstock. I think that was crumb cake or Sahara sand. Honestly, I don't remember. I cut this like 3 weeks ago, so I don't know what happened last week. So anyway, so I'm gonna just burnish that. This is cut 8.5 by 5.5, our normal A2 card. It's gonna flip up this way, so make sure that score line is at the top. I've got Evening Evergreen here panel, which is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I've got the Tidings of Christmas designer series paper that's going to get layered right over top here with and that's cut 3 by 4, so you maximize. Now this is the other side of the paper, however it's too busy to add the trees. Okay, so we're not going to go there. We're going to use this side here with the little snowflakes. So let's take our adhesive here, and I'm just going to add 2 lines of adhesive here, and we'll layer it right on to the evening evergreen. There's a 1/4 of an inch border on all 4 sides. Oops, that's just a little bit too far over. Let me go this way because I'm better this way. Okay, there we go. Okay, then we need to have some dimensionals. And let me just grab some of those. We'll need to have, I would put 5 on this one just because it's a little bit bigger and it will definitely buckle in the middle there. So 5 is good. Okay, so let's prep it. We're going to press those dimensional backings and peel them off. And I'm using that Stampin' Storage little bin that's right in front of me, so I hopefully won't hit my battery cord for my phone. Let me bring in my silicone craft sheet because I want to set this right here so it doesn't stick to that paper there. We're going to use the Chevron weave ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a knot bow. So you can do this several different ways. You can do it this way and wrap it around, or you can cut it off and do it like you can do it this way and tie a knot like this. This is normally how I do it. Or you can save your ribbon. I don't think you save very much by cutting off a snip of it and then tying it on and then putting it on. I think I'm just as quick doing it this way, and I don't really waste too much. So we're going to create that knot. I always start with the bolts on my right side and then bring it around. Okay, so just like this. And you don't want to, you want to make sure that your ribbon is not twisted. I'm having such a hard time with this. There we go. I think it's because there's a little crease in that ribbon right there. That's why it's not, there we go. Okay, what I'm going to do actually, let's bring that card base in because we can smack it right down here. So we're going to center it right on top. That's Sahara sand, it's not crumb cake. All right, so we're going to pull this through. And now it's easier for me just to tie a little knot. Boy, this ribbon is kinked and I don't like it. All right. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to tie a little knot bow, hold it with my right hand, and then pull it with my left, and that gives me a flat knot. So we're going to trim off the ribbon there at an angle, and I got my fancy scissors from Karen Rowe. I think she's watching tonight. Thanks for coming on. Yep, she made the last comment. Thank you for saying congratulations. Yeah, we'll see. I've never been on a cruise before, so it should be interesting. And I just noticed I should have put those trees on first. Oh well, we're gonna see how Karen does now without doing this correctly. All right, it's okay. We're gonna figure it out. Okay, so I first really wanted to put the darn trees on first, right? Oh, got one step ahead of myself. You guys are probably saying, Karen, hold on, right? All right, so I just trimmed that tree down. And let me just pop this up a little bit. I want to slide this piece down just a little. Okay. Now, with this tree, I would use the multi-purpose liquid glue just because these are kind of fragile, and any kind of like pulling could possibly rip those trees off. So I'm just going to not be able to squeeze that glue out because it's stuck. Here we go. But in my drawer, I have this trusty old quilting pin. So we're just going to use that, and now it should work. How do you guys get your glue unstuck? See, now it's really flowing. It's like too much. Okay, so I'm going to add this here. It doesn't really matter where, so I'm going to sneak it down here as best I can. Get that ribbon out of the way. And I'm going to hold it down because that glue goes really, it does stick really well. So now I'm going to slide this right up into place. And I want to move this knot over just a little bit, but that's not going to work either. That's all right, we'll figure it out. Okay, so now I've got a stitch rectangle here. Make sure you're stamping on the smooth side rather than the rough side. And we are going to stamp It's Friends Like You that make this season so wonderful. All right, so let me ink that up. And we're going to stamp right down in the center of that stitch rectangle. All right, you can tell I re-inked my ink pad because on the sample card it's definitely, let me just show you, you can kind of see the difference where that's kind of like all faded out, but this one has been re-inked. So that's what happens when I use that, this color we used at the retreat quite a bit. So I did have to re-ink a lot of my ink pads that we did use. Okay, so I'm grabbing some more of those Stampin' Dimensionals because we need to add this to the card. So what's tricky about this is you've got that really super thick ribbon. So oh, I got a stupid moth that just flew in. That's awesome, right on live. Now I'm going to have to add 6, and I hate to do that because that's like overkill. However, there's a lot of height on here, so you really need to make sure your sentiment label is going to stay. Now you could also add a little bit of the multi-purpose liquid glue right here, and then just hold it down until it kind of gets secure. That way it's going to stay in place. You can also take a block and hold it too. Just kind of rub it back and forth, or you can use your bone folder. You just need a little bit more time for that liquid glue to adhere. So there, it's stuck now. So that, oh, it was. Let me just hold it for a second. I'm going to add this block here while I am peeling off all these backings of the Stampin' Dimensionals. All right, so we've got 5 peeled off and 1 more. We'll make 6. Okay, so let's see if that's stuck now. I think it's okay. So I'm going to add this sentiment over here. And I want some of that ribbon showing. But I also want it to extend over the edge. There we go. That is going to stay really well. Now this is a little bit too big, so I'm going to trim this down. And then let me angle cut this one. It's about 1/2 inch is better than what I had there. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. Now on the inside of the card, let's see what I did. Okay, I did Merry Christmas and the rest of those trees. So if you don't want, let me show you here. If you don't want all of this white showing, I'm going to show you how to not make that happen. So these are going to go down here, okay? So we're going to add some more of that glue. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to line it up to the edge, but I'm pushing it all the way down so it's below that line, okay, the edge. And we're going to just give that a good press. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait a second. Let me stamp the Merry Christmas. We'll just give those trees a little bit more time to dry. And we're just going to stamp Merry Christmas and Evening Evergreen, just like that. And then we'll flip it over. Now this is all extending. So we can simply take our paper snips and trim this off. I think it looks much nicer if you do this rather than having the white show. And I'll put these side by side once we get it in the card. Okay, there we go. Doesn't that look a lot cleaner? Let me just throw those little pieces away. Cap my glue. And now let's add this panel to the inside. Okay, so let me just clean up this area a little bit. It's like crazy. There's so much stuff here. Okay, so can you see that? Now let me bring this one in so you can see them side by side. I purposely did this so you could kind of see the difference. All right, so let me just take that away too. All right, so can you see how much cleaner it is here? Now, I guess you could pretend that's snow, but not everybody lives where there's snow. So I would suggest you just moving those trees down a little bit and taking the extra time to trim it off so it's straight all the way across. All right, so that, we're going to add some of those elegant faceted gems to this card here. And I'll use my piercing tool. And these are clear, so we're just going to add 3, 2, and let's add, whoops, 1 down there. So there we go. All right, so that's card number 1. Now for the envelope, what I would do is I like that greeting that's here. So I would take my stamp, ink it up in the Evening Evergreen, and we're just going to stamp that right down on the front. And there's our not so naked envelope. Very easy to do and doesn't take any time really to do that. So, all right, so that's the card we made, and here's the one that I made earlier. And I actually, on this one, I stamped one of the little trees. So gives you another idea on how to use the stamp set. It is very versatile. So card number 1 for you guys. Now card number 2 is, let's see, we are going to be making this white one, and I need to go grab that embossing folder. So let me go grab that. Well, I thought I had it, but I don't know where it is. It's got really beautiful trees, and if anybody knows the name of it, please let me know. It's in the annual, I believe it's in the annual catalog. If someone could go look at that, that would be awesome. Or actually, Karen can do that right now. So it's a brand new embossing folder for me, and that's why I don't know the name of it. So let me go quickly to the back. Now, Stampin' Up! Did a great thing this year with their annual catalog. They added Christmas, a little section of Christmas here. So here's that stamp set. It's on page 91, and it is a bundle with the trees and the punch for $40.50. So pretty good deal. I'm happy that they did put Christmas stamps in the catalog this year. So let me get to that embossing folder. Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. All right, right here. Of course, it's called Evergreen Forest 3D on page 154, and it's $10. So it's beautiful, and I'll show you the panel that I've already embossed ahead of time. So, excuse me, I've got to get a drink. You guys can take a break for a second while I get a drink. All right, so Here we go. I'm good to also clean the Merry Christmas stamp because we're going to be using that as well. We don't want to contaminate. All right, so I got that one, and I need this stamp set here, and let's see this one here. Do you guys have a favorite Christmas stamp set or bundle that you guys have purchased or are looking to purchase? What is your favorite one? Or maybe you guys haven't even made Christmas cards, but I'd love to know what are you guys stamping with for Christmas cards? All right, I got my crumb cake ink, and I also have the evening evergreen. All right, so let's take this kit apart. Here, lots of white, lots of basic white for sure. Okay, so we have our envelope, of course. We'll stamp that. I've got a strip of basic white. It's like 3/4 of an inch by maybe 3.5. And then I've got an evening evergreen, the Chevron weaved ribbon. I've got a scrap of white that's going to get layered onto the scallop contours. Or no, these are the, it's so confusing because they're so close, contours dies. Or stitched so sweetly. Here's the die or the embossed panel. Can you guys see it? Like, we were so confused as to what side is the right side, because this is the right side, but if you flip it over, you kind of get the deboss side, and these trees up here are pretty striking. Now, these aren't so much, but this is really nice. 3D embossing folder. So, highly recommend it. Makes a really nice background, and I'm sure it will be an embossing folder that I'll use for a future card club. So definitely take a look at that one if you don't already have it. All right, so I've got my basic white card base here, which is again cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this panel. It's going to go right on here, okay? And it's cut, this one is cut 4 by 5 1/4. So when I'm using, when I actually have embossed panels, I like to use my liquid glue just because of all this embossed imaging here. It's just so much, and sometimes your adhesive doesn't stick as well as liquid glue. So we're going to add this on. Okay, so we've got that on there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to probably do some stamping. So I've got this one here. I need my envelope, and actually we need the inside of the card as well. So let's bring in the bows here and our evening evergreen. So what you're going to want to do with this one, you're just going to stamp kind of here and then off the side, so it's kind of continuous. Then you're going to rotate your stamp around, or you could have rotated your paper around, doesn't really matter. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to stamp the envelope, and I just stamped it all the way across, just like that. Okay, and then on the inside of the card, we're going to repeat that same process as we just did on the envelope. Okay, so it's 2 times there. Then we're going to stamp, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this one differently. This one was stamped in crumb cake, but I'm going to stamp this one in evening evergreen. So you, basically, I'm going to show you how you can create cards with just one ink color. All right. Okay, I think I got all my stamping done, so I'm going to close this baby up. All right, so we've got this one and my adhesive. So this is going to get layered right onto the that die cut here, and it's going to get kind of pushed over a little bit, just centered amongst this stitching that's all the way around that rectangle. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to add some more adhesive along that white area that's not stamped. We'll take that ribbon, add it here, press it down, flip it, and we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back side of this one. You can get away with 4 on this one. It's a smaller panel and it should be fine. All right, so let's bring our card back into the picture here. And then we're going to add this right in the middle. It's going to cover up all these trees, which I hate to do, but it is what it is. Okay, now this is going to go on here, and what you want to do is you kind of want to center the Merry Christmas. And on this one here, I kind of angle cut it, but on this card here, which is the embossing folder is called Bark, so I used bark on this one. We did like a banner cut, so it doesn't really matter what you do. You could keep it straight if you wanted to. I'm going to create a banner, so I'll take my paper snips and cut up in the middle, and then just angle cut, just like that. And then on the other side, we'll do the same. So cut right up, and then angle cut. All right, so now we've got that ribbon kind of peeking through, and that sentiment is going to go right over top, but we'll put some dimensionals on it. The thing I want to do next, though, is I want to clean up these edges. This ribbon does fray a little bit, so we're just going to give it a nice little cut. Both sides. Now let's take the sentiment and we'll find our dimensionals, which are under here. It's funny how they just kind of go everywhere. 3 would be good for this size. All right, so we got those peeled off, and let's bring the card back into the picture here. We're going to add this right over top. And I'm looking at the M and the S, so the Merry and the Christmas, the M and the S, making sure it's centered, and I want to bring it down just a little bit just because it's not really, wasn't 100% centered. Give it a good press. And that's kind of extending, and that's kind of extending, looks awesome. And then we open it up, just looks like that. So no embellishments on this card because the embossed panel does all the work for you, plus all that kind of like foliage underneath. And you can mail this one at no extra charge, so regular postage for this card. So that's that one. And then here's the one where I stamped the Merry Christmas using crumb cake, and I angle cut the banner so you can kind of see the difference. And then finally, here's the same card as this one, using the banner, but I used the Bark embossing folder and crumb cake ink there. So you can kind of see the difference, but all very similar too. So let's see if there's any questions. Which one do you guys like? Do you like the trees, crumb cake with the bark, or evening evergreen with the trees? My favorite is this one here, all green. That's personal favorite. All right, I'm gonna get my next card ready while you guys are chatting. We're going to be making the thank you card from my August card club. Really fun paper I'll be working with this month. and it was so easy to put together. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's because I love all the colors. So this is the card we'll be making. Let me show you. I know some of you just coming on. A couple of my team members are here. My daisies are here. So how many daisies are here? Let's see. We have Carol, Pam, Joni, Kelly, and Debbie are all my inspired daisies. We just actually added an inspired daisy yesterday. Her name is Patty. She's from New Hampshire, and she's been stamping with me for a couple years. And she took advantage of the Celebration. Add a free bundle to your starter kit when you join Stampin' Up! During Celebration. So I'm not sure which one she chose. She is not on tonight that I'm aware of. She could be, and she's not like commenting, but she usually does comment. But if Patty, if you're on, let us know what bundle you chose for your starter kit. So during Celebration, you can earn one of these bundles, and they're priced pretty high. My favorite, now everybody's making these penguins, but honestly, I'm not ready yet for this. And a lot of people are using the Nature's Harvest. But if I had to pick a favorite, I guess I would go with the Gorgeous Sleeves, because it's just gorgeous, right? I mean, I live where there's lots of maple trees, and I know a lot of you on here tonight live around maple trees, and that's kind of like our backyard. So there's oaks in here, and I think birch, but anyway, that's my favorite, and that's on my next order, because I'm hoping to do a sampler for my October retreat, and that would be an add-on class. So that would be really fun. But anyway, if you're interested in joining Stampin' Up! And Inspire Daisies, you can always message me and I can send you the information. But we are going to make this card next. Again, this is one of my cards from August Card Club, and it has a really cute bird on the inside and on the outside as well. But really simple card, and this uses a lot of the designer series paper that you will get in your monthly kit. So a 6x12, and you're going to be using 2 panels on this card design, and you can see the back side of this is mossy meadow and olive green, old olive I mean, and then you can see how they stamped the trees, or they painted them, what have you, and there's lots of splatter on it. But these are trees here, and these are trees too, but these are like more autumn. I'm going to use that multi-purpose liquid glue because we've got an 1/8 of an inch border, and I got a little bit left in my container, and I'm layering that on. So this is cut 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm layering it on Early Espresso, which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, this one needs Stampin' dimensionals. You guys know I use lots of dimensionals. One, because I really like using them. It just gives height and dimension, and really does showcase the paper in your paneling as well. Kind of just gives it a different height. And there's more interest to the card when you do that. All right, so I've got this panel here. Make sure it is directional, so you don't want your trees going upside down. This is a top fold card, and it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. It's cinnamon cider. So we're just going to add that right there. Simple, right? Now I've got, let's see, these other elements here. Let's work with these. I'm gonna bring my silicone. Let's see, I'm gonna stamp. So I'm gonna stamp thank you. I don't wanna lose those little birds. I need Early Espresso ink, which is over here. The ink colors that I used for August are Night of Navy, Mary Merlot, and Early Espresso. I need the Early Espresso. And, let's see, thank you is way over here. All right, and this is a photopolymer stamp, so you should use your Stampin' Paris mat. So let me grab mine. It just needs that little cushion. Now, I saw that the Stampin' Purist mats are on low inventory, so if you don't have one and you need to order one, you should do that really soon, because once it's on low inventory, it most likely will go on back order. All right, so just stamp the thank you with Early Espresso ink. That's all the stamping we have. Let's just take a look at the inside of that card again. It's got that, it's blank, but it's a great area to write your message. Okay, get rid of that Stampin' dimensional backing. All right, we're gonna work on the front. So we've got these are from the sunflower dies. I die cut one in Mary Merlot. Let me just put it on the white, you'll be able to see it better. So we've got one in Mary Merlot, and we have another one here that is in Cajun Craze. So we're gonna just figure out where we want to put them. And most likely right about that area would be good. You probably will want to use the liquid glue again. What I do is I take it, I hold it by the bottoms here, and I just dot it. So there's little tiny dots going all the way up and all the way down. And then we'll flip it over here, and I'm just gonna put it right over in this area and just kind of rub it down so it's stuck to the Designer Series paper. So that's one, that was Cajun Craze. Now we're going to do the same process with a Mary Merlot. Now you're adding the glue to the rough side, so the back side. We'll flip it over. And we're just gonna add this one kind of at an angle a little bit. All right, now we're going to take the thank you. We're gonna kind of cover up this area here. We're gonna add 2 Stampin' Dimensionals to this one. Again, with Card Club, this die cut's already gonna be done for you, so I do all that die cutting. I do, and my husband does it too. And then last month I had, let's see, Dottie and Debbie here working in my craft room. First time I've ever asked for help. So I'm thankful for those ladies and my husband to help me out. And I'm not afraid to ask for help anymore, that's for sure. All right, so we've got that stuck down, but it does need that little birdie, so we're gonna add the little bird. All right, so I used a mini Stampin' Dimensional. So I've got some here, and I take them off with my piercing tool, and I'll add it to the rough side of that bird, okay, because there is that smooth side and the rough side. So I'm gonna prep both of them, because one's gonna go on the inside as well. We're gonna pop that one up on the inside. And then let me just flip that one over, and we'll add another mini dimensional. Okay, then we'll peel that tiny little piece off the backing. And let's bring our card back in, and I'm going to put this right over the Cajun Craze, kind of this area here. Cute little bird, can you see that? Isn't that cute? All right, so now we'll work on the inside of the card. And I've got some more of the Designer Series paper, so this is one side, and then this is the other side. I wanted to go with the wood grain. Okay, so that's gonna look really nice on the inside. If you wanted to go with the green, well then this was what it would look like. So you open up the card like that, and that, well, I don't think that really matches, but we're gonna go with the wood grain side. It's got that early espresso in it. So just add your liquid glue to that side, and this is cut 4 by 5 1/4. Same size as mostly all of my panels that I put on the inside of a card. And then I've got the Hippo and Friends die cut in basic white. I added the glue to the rough side, and then we'll add this here. Now let me just show you the example card. Now on this one here, oh actually I popped it up with a mini dimensional. We're going to do the same thing. So I've got the bird already prepped. We'll just peel that piece off. And we will add this right here. So cute. And then my silver bow, I already did ahead of time with my 10-second bow maker. I added it to a glue dot and got it ready for you. And now that glue dot kind of went all over. I'm going to add it right up to the top here. And give it a good press. All right. Okay, so let's trim off those tails a little bit. They're a little bit too long. I always make the tails too long and then I'll trim them to what I need them to be. Okay, and then the envelope, of course, we'll just stamp thank you on that one. So we'll just ink that up in early espresso once again, and we'll stamp it right there. Okay, so thank yous there. Let me just clean up this area and we can kind of look at the cards side by side. All right, so here's this one we made. And you can see how they're a little bit different. I die cut the Cajun Craze and they're just reversed. So one card has these, and then do you see these are in Cajun Craze, and over here they're in Mary Merlot. So they're just opposite. Now we're gonna add some of those elegant faceted gems. So let me grab those. And I like the pinkish color for this one. So we're gonna add like 3. So I'm just gonna add them kind of wherever. So let's add one down here. And then one over here as well. So I've got 2 down here, 1 up there, so odd numbers pleasing to the eye. If you really wanted to get fancy, you could color that bird with some Winka Stella, and I know some of you here watching would do that. I'm going to keep it plain because everything else is plain, and but if you wanted to glitter up that bird, then you could do that. So that is one of my cards from August Card Club. All right, so do you guys have any questions? Let's see if there's any questions here. Okay, Jan, so I'll watch the replay to catch up. Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much. Tony J, she is new. All right, so I don't think I have any questions. So we'll go over what we made today. And all right, so this is that one. Card Club again. Friendships refresh the soul. So here's 2 of those little birds in Mary Merlot with the gold trim. And then on the inside, so book binding fold with Mary Merlot Old Olive. So that is that card. And then here's the kind of like, this could be a sympathy card as well. I used the silver trim here with some Night of Navy and two die cut trees, one in Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, and I stamped with Night of Navy as well. And here are those little faceted gems as well. Very, very pretty. And then on the inside, we've got that wow factor with the back side, reverse side of the designer series paper, and I carried it through with a strip here onto the basic white. And then the last card for design for August Card Club is You Truly Inspire Me. I used the bark embossing folder with Cajun Craze on top of the Cajun Craze. A little bit of early espresso peeking through with the gold trim, and I wrapped it around twice. We've got the Hippo and Friends dies, the faceted gems, and on the inside we've got a strip of the designer series paper. So that's August. And then the Christmas cards we created tonight using the Evergreen Elegance stamp set. We've got a Merry Christmas with a beautiful evergreen trees embossing folder, and that's the inside. You could stamp Merry Christmas on the inside as well if you wanted to, or keep it blank. Here's one in Crumb Cake using bark embossing folder. And this one's a little bit different with an angle cut. We've got the trees embossed back here, but that's in Crumb Cake. And then finally, it's Friends Like You that make this season so wonderful. Just some more of that beautiful paper, and on the inside, Merry Christmas. And then this is actually the one we made where I showed you the trick to make it all white, a very even border, so you don't have the white peeking through. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can just email me at inspiredbygraham@gmail.com. You can get in touch with me that way, or yeah, just shoot me a message on my blog as well, which is inspiredbygraham.com. So hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Friday and it's 9:01, so we finished in an hour, so which is probably a record. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend and be well.